from a personal development standpoint, I want everybody to understand. You are different. Some of you, anyway, are different from top earners, okay? From top earners in what you do and what you don't do, not in who you are. I'm gonna say that again. You're different. Some of you, anyway, are different from top earners, not in who you are, but in what you do and what you don't do. And we're going to be talking about that as we go. Now, in my experience in being a top earner in this industry for many years now, and in having a chance to interview very transparently and candidly other top earners, I'm going to give you six traits, six secrets really that I notice about top earners that I don't see in people who aren't top earners yet. When I say top earners, I mean at least $100,000 a year, but typically more. Okay. And number one, they're very different in the fact that they plan their work. You can write that down. Top earners plan their work. They don't leave their business building and their results up to chance or luck or, oh, my sponsor is going to give me some spillover or I'm in a good position. No, top earners have experience planning their work. They count the cost. Okay, we'll be talking about some verses a little bit later, but there's a verse we're going to talk about from the book of Luke that talks about counting the cost. They plan their work. And then number two, what do? They work their plan. All right, please understand that top earners plan their work, ladies and gentlemen, and then they work their plan. And I need you to really understand that and conceptualize that because if you plan your work, that's fine. That's theory, that's strategy, that's technique. Okay, but if you don't work the plan, all of that is for naught. Okay, faith is an action word. Faith without works is dead. It doesn't matter if you believe in yourself or not if you don't do nothing about it. Okay, so that's kind of how that particular thing goes. So number one, they plan their work. Number two, they work their plan. Number three, top earners are very, very, very consistent, and I mean consistent across the board. Okay, I mean consistent across the board. When I say consistent, they are consistent insofar as their call attendance. Okay, they are very consistent in their the fact of how they attend events. They're very consistent. They're consistent in their follow up. Okay, they're even consistent in their product usage. All right, their service usage and things like that. So you got to be consistent. That's what top earners are. They're very consistent. They don't let life distract them and get in the way. Okay. They don't let life distract them and get in the way. Just understand that conceptually. They're very consistent. Why are they so consistent? Because of reason number four. They are very committed. Okay. They know at the beginning what their end game is, and therefore they're very committed. Okay. They have a clearly defined goal about what they want to do and how they want to operate. Okay. So they have the commitment that leads to that consistency. But again, they also plan their work and then they work their plan and not lazy. Number five, I noticed this about top earners. This is one that escaped me for many years. I would talk to other top earners all the time, but I didn't understand this one. I didn't notice it until it became too obvious to avoid. They have ironclad control over their emotions. Please write that down and put a big star by it because there is not a year that I've been involved with this industry that I've seen someone with all the potential in the world. They're a great recruiter, they're a great retailer, they're a great trainer, they're a great speaker, but their emotions got the best of them and they ended up blowing up their business, self-sabotaging their business, torpedoing their business or quitting the company or quitting the industry altogether because they weren't in control of their emotions. I've seen it happen. I've seen people with millions of dollars in volume, okay, just blow the whole business opportunity because they got emotional. And I have to remind myself sometime I was talking about this with Joe Davis, Joe Davis a couple of days ago, and we said, we had to really keep it real with ourselves, and Coach Marcus as well. Would you rather be right or would you rather be rich? Okay, and we all chose rich. I was talking to Coach Sonic Jones about that as well. Yeah, we chose rich. You can be right or rich. See, right's a matter of opinion a lot of times when you're dealing with people in your organization and outside your organization. But at the end of the day, if you had to choose, I'd rather be rich all day long. Because as much as I think I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, and I don't realize that I'm wrong till later. And maybe one or two of you might have experienced the same thing in your life. And then number six, this is my favorite one, and I love this sixth trait so much. I want you to leave it blank, and we're going to come back at the end of the call and bring it full circle and give you top earner trait number six. Okay, so they're planning their work, their plan. They're very consistent. They're super committed. They have ironclad control over their emotions. Okay. And then we'll come back to number six. So what about them being good recruiters and retailers? Of course they're good recruiters and retailers. You don't make that type of money if you're not good at recruiting, retailing, or both, or teaching and coaching. They're already good at that. That's an obvious thing. I shouldn't have to tell you that top earners are good recruiters. That's irrelevant, or good trainers, or good charismatic speakers. Sometimes I shouldn't have to tell you that. I'm giving you the stuff that I noticed, um, that really is was just hidden for a long time. Let me give you a bonus tip. This isn't number six, but this is just a quick bonus tip that just came to mind as well. Um, they handle conflict very, very, very quickly. If you have a big enough team to make that type of money, like a lot of us make, and people make a lot more than I do in some of these companies, and even in HBN, you got to realize that they conflict will arise just based on the nature of the business, because our real product is people. I will say that again. Conflict will sometimes arise as a result of the nature of our business, because our real product is people. Okay. And so when conflict does arise, they go right to the source. Ain't no he said, she said, oh, so and so said this. They get right to the source, right to the nitty gritty. I had some people who had left HBN for a while and lost an entire business center. They were doing really good, making a couple $1,000s, just getting started. But they heard some rumors about some people in the organization that wasn't even true, but they thought it was. And so they quit the company. How sad is that? And fortunately, a lot of them have already come back wiser and stronger than before. But might even have a couple of them on the call. But at the same time, it's the principle that you have to have the ironclad emotional control is number five. But as a subset of that, okay, as a subset of that, you really, if there's ever conflict in your business, top earners handle it with extreme efficiency and extreme prejudice, and it's awesome because they just don't tolerate any BS in the organization because they know what's at stake for them and everyone else. So we'll come back to that. Now we're going to move on to the second part of the call, and it's going to really be about the roadblocks. All right, and it's going to be the roadblocks of why it's why some people really have a certain level of success a lot faster than other people. And this applies, I would guess this applies to most companies. These roadblocks are all going to be very, very similar. These traffic lights, right? These yellow and red lights, okay? These stop signs, so to speak, that on your way to build your business. And I think the roadblocks are common to all companies probably in this industry, but the solutions and the green lights and the GPS reroutes are going to be something unique to HBN. So the beginning part of this training on this call, we're going to go ahead and give you some technical stuff right now, and then we're going to move on to my favorite stuff, which is obviously the mental, the mindsets, the skill sets, and the spiritual side. Okay, I'm not a very religious person, but I'm very, very spiritual in that nature. So we always like to bring that element to the call as well, because I believe that's where the money's made. Okay, wealth is of the heart and mind, not of the pocket. So remember that. Now, number one, from a roadblock standpoint, okay, from a roadblock standpoint, is I don't have the money. And people say this stuff all the time. And people say, well, how do y'all build such big businesses at HBN? It's because we don't have a lot of roadblocks here. How do y'all make the money you make and the time you make it? Because we don't have a lot of roadblocks. If people say they don't have the money to get started, that's awesome, because that's going to rule them out for all kinds of companies that they just have to say no to. But not at HBN, because it's free to join and free to make money. I believe we had a young lady out of Atlanta who joined for free, and she had made over $12,000 before she ever went and actually bought a product. Okay, so I don't tell that story because that's what I think everybody should do. Okay, but I tell people that because it's really awesome to know that you have a business that you can actually work for free, because that is the number one issue, number one roadblock that people will tell you, okay, is that I really want to join, but I don't have the money. Okay, so we have massive incentives to purchase product. Of course, we'll talk about some of those in a second. You don't even get access to the entire compensation plan unless you buy a product, but you can join for free and access two parts of our compensation plan. And I don't know about y'all, but if you need an extra 12 grand, I would plug into the free business and plug into our free training and go ahead and work that and make your $12,000 extra, like that young lady in Atlanta did. And that's just one of many, many people but eventually she did, of course, purchase a product and upgrade to a higher part of the compensation plan. Number two roadblock that people hear a lot of times, and this one knocks some new distributors right out of the box. And it's when they say, "Oh, is that a pyramid scheme?" They think it's a pyramid scheme of some sort, and it's not. Of course, it's not. But at the same time, rather than give them the legal definition of a pyramid scheme and get into a whole law school class, we just say, "No, pyramids are illegal." Number one, and then number two, pyramids actually require you to give money or spend some money and not get anything in return for like 6 weeks, right? There's never a tangible product involved. Here, you can join for free. So it's obviously not a pyramid scheme because you can join. That's number one. Two, share your link that you got for free. And three, get paid. And we pay daily. You don't have to wait a month or a week for your checks. We get paid every single day of the week. So you can join for free, share your websites that you got for free, access to all those products for free. And then step number three, get paid. There's no money you ever gave to the company. Okay. Now that just puts it out of the pyramid scheme category, even as a possibility because you didn't spend anything. But at the same time, even if you did spend money, okay, you get a product. This is a product-based company. And I love service-based companies. I don't have any issue with service-based companies. Some of my best friends are in service-based companies. I actually use services from service-based companies in our industry from time to time. But you got to realize in a product-based company, it's never a pyramid scheme because there is a physical, tangible product that you're exchanging, okay, for money, okay, for some type of a liquid asset. You're exchanging a liquid asset for a tangible asset. If someone gives me 20 some dollars, liquid asset, I'm going to give them 20 some dollars of black seed oil or $30 worth of coffee and so on and so forth. So it's not a pyramid scheme. We simply exchange liquid asset for tangible asset, and that's called a business. If HBN is a pyramid scheme and we're exchanging money for physical products, then Walmart's a pyramid scheme. Target's a pyramid scheme. I was in Publix earlier. I went into Publix and I put my card in the machine and I got to walk out the door with a bunch of physical products. So if HB is the pyramid scheme, so is Target and Walmart, Amazon, and everywhere else. So we don't really have to deal with that because it's free. Number three roadblock. Oh, Will, I really want to join, but I don't have anybody to talk to. Okay, that's fantastic. We're actually working on a new revamped lead generation program right now. That should be dropping on December 16th. So I apologize to the people who reached out to get your free leads. I just wanted to tweak it a little bit more and make sure that it works at the levels that I want it to work. Okay, everybody can throw up a free lead program if they want. We want ours to continue to be the best, and we did have to do some tweaks with our vendors and whatnot, but that'll be relaunching on December 16th. December 16th. But that being said, even if you're not into the lead program, we have a social media training where you can create endless leads, okay? Endless free leads on Facebook. It's phenomenal. We're actually working on an Instagram version of that and a Twitter version of that right now, okay? But you can generate leads for free. You don't have to talk to your friends and family if you don't want to. If you want to talk to your friends and family, let us give you the copy and paste exact words to say as part of our hot market training. Okay, we don't want you to say, "Oh, I can't build this business because I don't want to talk to my friends and family." Fine, we'll teach you how to talk to total strangers and teach you where to find total strangers. Oh, I don't want to talk to total strangers. I'm an introvert. I just want to talk to my friends and family. Fantastic. Well, let us teach you copy and paste word for word exactly what to say and do to expose the products and business to your friends and family. So we always teach you how to find people to talk to. And in fact, for as little as $10 a month, this money does not go to me or the company. It's a third party service that we use. For as little as $10 a month, you can actually get a company actually that we work with, very trusted vendors that we get with to send qualified leads to you at least once or twice a month. You'll get a batch of maybe 10, 20, 30 people to contact who came from the internet. And we have different products that we'll talk about that a little bit later. But at the end of the day, you don't have to know people to talk to. We will teach you how to find brand new people that are not your friends and family for free. Or if you want it to go faster, you can just use one of the external services. All right. Roadblock number four. Okay, well, I got people to talk to. That's not my problem. I don't know what to say. Ladies and gentlemen, here at HBN, we have emails, scripts, text scripts, books, copy and paste training, copy and paste social media posts, copy and paste social media messages, text messages, emails as well, that you get for free, by the way. And all of the stuff is proven. This is no guesswork. This is nothing like, oh, I don't know if it works. It's proven. But here's my caveat. You have to be committed and consistent. If you're not committed and not consistent, it's not going to work for you. And I'll tell you stories about that in a little bit. But we do have training already in place to teach you exactly what to say and do. You don't have to have any guesswork. This is how we've built teams of hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Roadblock number 5. Okay, this is an issue about most network marketing product-based companies. We just got this is a little bit advanced. So for new people who are on the call, don't be intimidated by this. Don't be intimidated by this. But most network marketing companies, I hate to say it, do not have a lot of actual real customers. Okay, they don't have real customers. All right, I'll tell you what they have. They have distributors who use the products. All right, they have distributors who use the products. That is like okay, but that's not a quote unquote real business. Here at HBN, ladies and gentlemen, 84%. Okay, of people who buy products here are customers. Only 16% are distributors. We have 84% real, legit customers. And why is that important? Well, because the government wants to see real customers. But number two, customers are fantastic. All right, absolutely fantastic. So how do we have so many customers here at HBN when a lot of companies simply do not? And they have to resort to buying leaders and cutting backroom deals because normally at other companies their products are simply priced too high. I saw Amber Alert. Hope they're okay. So the prices are just simply too high. So for example, a friend of mine who's in another company was like, "Hey, Will, you should take a look at our stuff." Blah 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 blah. I don't really care about it, but I always tell them I'll take a look because I'm gonna probably uh, understand and use this in one of our HBN trainings at some point from a product standpoint. The average price of their product for a month supply was $68. When you add tax and shipment to that, that's like 90 some bucks. That's too much money, for example, 80 some bucks for one set of month products. And the CV's not even that high. So the products look cool, but I'm looking at it going, this is not going to be a product that could stand on its own. Okay, that's one thing. I really love the fact that I see in the service-based side of network marketing with companies like Primerica, with companies like IML. I like the services they provide because those services could stand alone on their own. Okay, outside of the network marketing business place. Okay, this is why I love HBN because HBN is one of the only product-based companies I've ever seen where the products actually could stand on their own outside of the network marketing business place. We did an Amazon shopping cart comparison in HBM products. We blew Amazon out the water for the amount that our products cost versus comparable products on Amazon. And we weren't cherry picking. We were picking the Amazon recommended ones. And if you haven't seen that particular training, catch it on Coach Sonic Jones YouTube channel. It's phenomenal. So we have a ton of incredible customers because we have products for as low as like $8, but then we have over 100 products, but some of them are as low as $8 or $9, and then we got other products that are expensive as 150 and 200. We have the full range of premium products and economy products. And another thing that we have that I have not seen any other company in the industry even come close to, a reason why we have so many customers that are spending money every month is because we get to introduce them using our gift card program. Now, take me a second to just explain how our gift card program eliminates the roadblock of acquiring customers, which is something you have to do in this industry. You have to have people who are not in the business who are using the products consistently. Otherwise, you don't have a real business. Okay. So if you are at about 100 and some bucks, 100 CV worth of product a month with HBN, you're going to get every single month $250 in free gift cards. Now, some people don't know that about HBN, but you're going to get $250 in free gift cards. That's free product in addition to the hundred some dollars worth of product that you bought. Okay, so because you already spent 100 some bucks on your products for the month because you didn't want to join for free, you wanted to maximize the compensation plan. Okay, the company is going to reward you and make your business a lot easier to build with $250 in free gift card products every month. Okay, every month. It's incredible. And if you actually plug in and use the scripts, okay, that we teach to actually get products into the marketplace, is phenomenal. And that's what we want to see. That's what we want to have there for you. That's how you can create customers. Well, Will, that being said, From a customer standpoint, let's move on to number six, the roadblock, because we know we're going to be able to use gift cards to build a business because nobody says no to free. All right. And we have products that are in demand, like coffee, several different types of coffee, weight loss shakes, CBD oil, okay, essential oils, anti-inflammatories, anti-aging products, skincare, and so much more. Over 100 products, and a lot of them you can get for free with the gift card. All right. Now, number six, Will, I really want to do it. Everything sounds great, but I'm not a salesperson. All right, what part about the free gift card program didn't you just hear? In fact, I'm glad you're not a salesperson. Miss Akua Usted is very fond of saying this. She says that we don't actually sell products here. We share products we believe in with people that we care about. So why don't you try some products out with the gift card? Okay, try some free stuff out, maybe buy a product or two, but definitely use a gift card and use the product for yourself. And if you love the product, share it with people that you care about. Like when I found out and used our black seed extract, and I found out that it activated something in the body called the NRF2 pathway. Will, can you put that in layman's terms? Sure. The NRF2 pathway is the anti-aging pathway in your body. Ladies and gentlemen, according to PubMed.gov, I'm not making medical claims here. I'm telling you what PubMed.gov, the biggest medical research website in the world, says. The government, by the way, and I don't even like them like that, but I like this particular website. The NRF2 pathway, when it's activated, turns on the anti-aging clock. It turns on the anti-aging clock in your body. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a product that you can get for $29. If you add a $25 gift card to it, you can get it for $4. It's more potent than anything on Amazon and 100 times cheaper, especially if you use a gift card. And it's going to turn on the NRF2 pathway. It's going to activate the anti-aging pathway in your body. You're going to get younger and younger with every dose. Okay, I can tell you that 100%. I feel like I'm 21 again, only with better judgment. But you need to experience it for yourself. Okay, another product we have is Java Slim Coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an incredible weight loss product. We just found that even though our weight loss product, people were losing 20 plus pounds in 30 days, we found a lot of people that were forgetting to take the product. They were forgetting to take the product. So what did we do? We put the weight loss into the coffee because people were not forgetting to drink the coffee. They weren't forgetting to drink coffee in the morning, but they were forgetting to mix up their weight loss shakes. So what did we do? We put the weight loss in the coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, you can get that with a gift card for $25 for a month supply. It's incredible. That's like $1 a serving. That's like 600% cheaper than Starbucks, and you get slimmer and slimmer with every sip. It's absolutely delicious. We guarantee that you love it. If you love it, if you don't love it, send back the empty package and you'll get a full refund, no questions asked. Okay, that's part of consumer protection insurance. Nobody is going to be dissatisfied with HBM product. We got products like our sleep cream product. Okay, you put on it's a cream. It smells amazing. You can rub it on your feet or just rub it on your chest. You're gonna fall asleep within 5 minutes of your head hitting the pillow and have the best dreams you've ever had. It's an incredible product. But again, we don't even want you to be a salesperson. Okay, we want you to share products you believe in with people that you care about. So if somebody got you on this call and they want to share with you some information, that's the three products I recommend: the Java Slim Coffee, black seed extract, and the sleep cream as well. And feel free to ask them for one of our free gift cards because it's awesome. And also, too, Ms. Akua said, one of our top tier product trainers, she just says right here, she said that you also get your daily requirement of magnesium with the sleep cream because magnesium is one of the key ingredients in that. And I think over half of Americans are magnesium deficient, and you definitely don't want that. Number seven, roadblock. Only the people at the top make the money. All right, let's get advanced right now. Only the people at the top make the money. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been a common misnomer, but people are still going to tell you that sometimes when you're trying to build a business. Let me tell you why they say that, and let me tell you why it doesn't happen at HBN. Because at most companies, okay, let's say you build an organization that does $1 million in volume a month, and we actually got a plan tomorrow to teach you how to do. I'm excited about Millionaire Call tomorrow. We're going to teach you how to do $1 million in volume, and you'll be learning from myself and other people who have done millions and millions of dollars in volume in HBN. I'm going to teach you how to do it tomorrow at 7 o'clock Central. Don't miss that call and be on in case it fills up. Be on a few minutes early, otherwise you'll be locked out. So only the people at the top make the money. Why do people say that? They say that because let's say you build a business that does $2 million in volume or $500,000 in volume, okay, and you do that. Most companies will tell you that you can only earn up to a certain amount per month or per week until you go increase your rank. So I know a particular company that even if you're doing $30 million in volume, they're only going to allow you to make like 10 or 20 grand a week. Now that sounds like a lot because it is. Okay, I'm not laughing at $20,000 a week. Most people will never get to that in this industry. What I'm saying is that limit they put on you, if you were allowed, you actually should be making hundreds of thousands of dollars a week if you built the organization that size. So they make you go jump through some hoops and bells and whistles to hit a what we call hit a rank or get promoted, and then you can earn more of the money that you already generated. Well, Will, what's going to happen to all the money I should be making while I'm fighting and clawing and scratching to get to these rank advancements? Well, the company's going to keep that, Bobby. That's how that works. Here at HBN, ladies and gentlemen, we have what's called an uncapped binary. I have never seen this before. This is just this is in fact, let me I forgot how did I on earth did I miss this, gentleman? Let's go ahead and um get this into the chat. I'm tripping, y'all. Hold on one second. There we go. Do that. And please put that into the chat, coach. I don't know how we didn't have you on there. And let me get this gentleman as well. I'm slipping today. Let me get y'all right. Okay, cool. I think we got everybody. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out where I was at. Oh, so we have an uncapped binary. Now the uncapped binary allows you to make all the money you're supposed to make within a comp plan, and the company is never going to put a cap on your income and say things like, "Oh, you can only make $20,000." I actually put out a video like a month or so ago when I made $20,000 in a day with HBN. Okay, I had to make that video not to impress people or to show off, but just to show you that regardless of your rank, if your organization is doing that amount of volume, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be paid everything that you're supposed to get paid, and you don't have to quote unquote be at the top to make that type of money. All right, so that's the next thing. We have an uncapped binary, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I highly recommend it. All right, number 8. All right, people say I don't have the time. Now, listen very closely to this next part. I don't want to spend too much time on it. We'll be covering this at a training at a later date. When people say I don't have the time, typically when people say I don't have the time, it's because they work a lot and they actually do have the money. They have money, but they don't have time. So we have to leverage them. Now, this is something that I do in addition to building a business in person. What do I do? I'll just give you 3 steps. This is something I've always done, and I'll tell you why it works for me, and then I'll tell you why it doesn't work for a lot of people because we like to shoot it straight to you over here. So number 1, in addition to all my offline building, meeting people in person and all this kind of stuff that you see me do, I use automatic sponsoring, and I pay about $80 a month to a service to sponsor leads and fresh people into my business automatically on autopilot. It does take a little while to set up, and again, it's $80 a month, but it works for me. All right. Now, once that's done, all right, and that's set up and running on autopilot every month, all right, I actually have a pre-written email campaign with emails that I've already written and got from years past. And I just upload all that, and it takes me maybe 60 seconds. And at the push of a button, once or twice a day, I'm going to email thousands of people at one time. So far, on any given day, I've only worked my business about 60 days. Okay. The next thing that happens is there's a HBN gives you a free customer resource manager. You have to be at the rank of executive or above to hit that. Executive is very easy. Okay. But the point is you get that for free. Customer relationship manager, it's a CRM, and it has an automatic rejection free follow-up tool built into it, and it's integrated with the email campaign. So basically, I can run my business on autopilot for $80 a month in about 60 seconds a day. That is a true story. That is something I actually do, and we'll probably teach that in Orlando. So we don't have time to teach it in Vegas. It's not on the itinerary, but we will teach it in Orlando. That's 3-step process. And I actually had to learn that from trial and error. I had to drive 11 hours both ways to go to one of the guys in network marketing who really knew how to set stuff like that up, learn from him, and then drive back 11 hours. Yeah, I was not leaving with no for an answer. So if you don't have time, but you got $80 a month and maybe 60 seconds a day, and of course you need to buy your products every month. But if you got around $200 a month total for products, the automatic sponsoring system, and you got about 60 seconds a day, you can actually run your business on autopilot. It works for me. When people say, "Will, well, it works for you. Why doesn't it work? Why does it work for some other people, but not everybody?" 2 words, and I mention these words all call long because they're not committed and they're not consistent. They may start off with it, but they cancel it after a month or 2 or 3. You have to be consistent You have to send those email campaigns by pushing a button. Should take you less than 60 seconds a day. And you also have to be consistent with the automatic sponsoring and using the rejection-free follow-up tool. And again, we'll train on all of that in Orlando. You have my word, it's going to be phenomenal. But that's what I do. And if you're ever going to do that, you need to be committed and you need to be consistent. Otherwise, it will not work for you. But if you are, it will work for you for sure. Okay. Number 9. Okay. Roadblock. All right. Roadblock. This one's tricky. It's not really a roadblock so much as it's just too difficult to make leveraged income. And let me explain how HBN makes it not difficult to make leveraged income. A lot of companies have what's called a check match feature in their compensation plan, which means when you hit a certain rank, when you get to a certain level, you will actually start earning income based upon the income of other people, which means I'll tell you a true story about it and hopefully it'll make sense. When I was at my first company, network marketing, you had to hit the rank of emerald, which is like 100 or 200,000 dollars a month in volume you had to do. You had to hit that rank, and it took me a while. But once you got to it, I say a while, not that long, but you had to get to it. And once you got to it, the company would start allowing you to earn what they called a leadership check match. And that became a really great part of your check because if you sponsor some good people, they're going to make all their money, but then the company is going to take some money out of the marketing budget and give you a match. Okay, so you had an incentive to go work with people deep in your organization at that point. Here in HBN, you don't have to do $200,000 in volume in order to qualify for that. Okay, here at HBN, you get a low threshold for check match, and you can do that at the silver level. I'll tell you what that is very quickly. I'll tell you a story. We'll move on to point number 10. Okay, a silver level executive at HBN is someone who has sponsored 4 people at a minimum of 25 CV a month. Okay, so that's like when you add tax and shipping, like $32. So that's about a there's maybe 130 bucks in total sales. So that's a person who has about 130 bucks in total sales divided up amongst 4 people, and those 4 people have at least 2 sales that month of 25 CV as well. So the total organizational volume it's maybe 300 bucks. So can you build a team of 4 people that's doing about 300 bucks a month in sales total? Well, the answer is always going to be yes, especially if you use the scripts here and that the way that we teach. And again, here's the wildest part. So there's a guy, I'm not going to say this guy's name. He may or may not be on the call. He sponsors 6 people in his HBN career that I know of. 6 people. Okay. 6 people. And when he sponsored 6 people, which is amazing, he sponsored 6 people. He got 2 of them quit. 2 of them quit, and he had 4 people left. 3 of these people were not very good. They never made it past the first rank of the company. But one of the people he sponsored went on to make a bunch of money. This guy made $75,000 in check match in the last 18 months. Okay, and he was only a silver. He never went past that. So he's spending his 100 some bucks a month. His whole organization, except for one person, is doing about 300 bucks a month total. But the bottom line is, he was telling me that $75,000 he made allowed him to not have. It's just his personal belief. It allowed him to not have to get the vaccine back in the day, get the jab, because he couldn't work unless he went and got that. But he was like, I don't want that. Luckily for me, I got HBN making 75,000 a year. I can just relax until I'm ready to go back to work when they tell me I don't have to get vaccinated. Because he doesn't do needles, I don't do needles. It's just what it is. But that story resonated with me, and it worked. And he only sponsored 6 people. 2 of them quit, and only one of them was any good. Okay, but he still was able to make a lot of money off that check match, and he's probably over $100,000 in check match right now, if I had to guess. Okay. So that being said, that's number 9. We have a low threshold for check match. So if you know somebody that you think can be really good in this business, especially with the fact that HBN has no roadblocks and they can build a really strong team, they may have a little experience in the industry. Guess what? You definitely want to make sure that you take advantage of the low threshold for check match. I love check match, and I can tell you that long term, the biggest parts of your check at HBN are going to be your residual income from the binary and also your check match. And that check match is going to be paid to you no matter what side of your organization the person is in. So it really doesn't matter if you have a power leg or not. That's awesome. If your organization is lopsided, just make sure that you are at least a silver or above. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, the roadblocks that a lot of companies set up roadblocks for themselves. And I'm going to give you 3 R's, and this is how most companies operate. Not all, but most in my experience. Their first priority is recruiting. The second highest priority is rank advancing. And the third highest priority is recognition of the rank advancing. Okay, so that's what it is. Recruit, 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 rank advance, and then they're going to get the people who rank advanced on stage, and everybody who doesn't recruit and everybody who doesn't rank advance, forget y'all. All right, they don't have any customer incentives or anything. Here at HBN, we do things a little bit differently. We actually want you to retail first. We teach you a hot market retail play to help you get products into the marketplace, help you make your money back, help you get into profit in retail. The second thing we do is we help you recruit and teach you how to recruit. Why? Because why recruit if you've never retailed any products? What are you going to teach people? So we want you to retail first, make your money back in the marketplace. We'll teach you how to share products you believe in with people that you care about. We'll even help you get some products for free. Okay, we're going to teach you how to retail, make your money back, get in the profit. Then we're going to teach you how to recruit. And that's our second R. And our third R is going to be retention. We're going to show you how to retain people. We have a retention system. We'll be teaching that in Las Vegas. Okay, and system stands for save yourself some time, energy, and money. So while most companies go for recruit, rank, advance, recognition, at HBN we go from retail, recruit to retention. Why? Because when you focus on retail, recruiting, and retaining your customers, retaining your reps, okay, that leads to residual income. All right. If you're always trying to recruit, you're always looking for the next person, you're always trying to sign a next deal instead of working with the people you have, servicing your customers, training your distributors, retaining your organization, and then you're going to make the residual income, which is the reason why we all showed up here anyway. So, Will, now that we come to this point in the call, and we get to what I consider the fun stuff, you mean to tell me, as easy as HBN is to build, you just showed us how to eliminate every single roadblock. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have anybody to talk to. I don't know what to say. Any of that stuff. Okay. Why are some people still winning and some not? I'm going to tell you right now, because of the mindset. So if people understand that we don't have any real objections here, it's super, super easy to build the business. Okay. And you're committed and you're consistent. Why do I keep saying that? Because what is remembered is repeated, and what is repeated is remembered. Okay. So if you're committed and consistent, you're going to build an incredible business. If you're not committed and you're not consistent, you're not going to do well. But Will, I'm committed and I'm consistent and I'm still not where I want to be. Wonderful. This is probably going to be for you the part of the call that makes the most sense. You have a subconscious limiting belief around success. Okay. At some point, you stopped believing in yourself, or maybe you never believed in yourself. You may believe in the company, you may believe in the products, you may believe in the pay plan. Okay. You may believe in the industry of network marketing, the business model, but you may not believe in yourself, or you no longer believe in yourself. And that's what this next part of the call is designed to really give you a breakthrough in, because some of you really, really need this. So we're going to get very scriptural and very specific. Okay. I don't want you to not have access to this information. Okay. When people, so here's that thing we talked about, that sixth trait that I told you to leave blank earlier for top earners, top earner mindset. The number 6, it is deservedness. Top earners feel as if they deserve to be top earners for some reason. Okay, when my mom will ask me, son, who do you think you are? I say, man, mama, I'm the man. And don't you forget it. True story. I talk like that. I really feel like I deserve to be on top. It doesn't matter what any haters or anybody, industry, TV, CNN, Fox, it don't matter. Oh, there's a recession going on. Not in my pocket. I really feel like I deserve it. Why? Because I know what God says. That's where my strength comes from. I understand exactly what the Bible says as far as money. Okay. I understand exactly what the Bible says about me supposed to have money. Okay. And I just want to give you some of the stuff that I found, and hopefully it'll impact you as much as it impacted me. Okay. In Proverbs 23:7, ladies and gentlemen, it says, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Okay. As you think in your heart, and it doesn't mean the heart that pumps blood, it's referring to your subconscious mind. It's the ancient Chaldean word. Okay, what is repeated is remembered. What is remembered is repeated. Ladies and gentlemen, when the Bible says for he or she, okay, thinks in his heart, so is he, it means that whatever is going on in your subconscious mind, deep, deep, deep down in your gut instincts, if you believe you're a top earner, you're eventually going to be a top earner. And the actual word says, as a man thinketh. Okay, thinketh is a different word than thinks. Thinketh implies a process. It implies time. Okay. In fact, if you look at that entire verse, let me give you the entire verse. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. All right. What does that mean? It means that sometimes we're telling ourselves, eat and drink. We're saying things. I'm a top earner. I'm a winner. I'm this. I'm that. I'm going to the top. Watch my smoke. Eat my dust. I'm going to be the next diamond. But your heart's not in it. Your subconscious mind is not lined up with what your words are saying because you might have a deep down deservingness issue or worthiness issue. Okay. So I want you to just point out to your thoughts. The second thing, oh, well, that's Old Testament. We don't want to hear that. Tell us New Testament because it's different now. No, it's not. Because Matthew chapter 9, verse 29 says, according to your faith, let it be done unto you. Again, your faith, your belief. It all comes down to your faith and your belief. Faith without works is dead. So you do have to put some work in. This is network marketing, not work marketing. So you do have to put some work in. But you still have to believe in yourself and believe that you're going to be a top earner, that you need to be a top earner, that you deserve to be a top earner. And then you're going to take the actions to be a top earner. And then it's going to happen for you. Okay. I can't contradict what scripture says because scripture's proven itself too much in my life over and over and over. Will, it's not all about the money. I understand for you, it may not be all about the money. However, okay, as far back as the book of Genesis, it talks about money and it wasn't even needed. Will, what does that mean? It says right here in Genesis chapter 2, okay, it says the river winds through the entire land of Havilah where there is gold. That's the first mention of gold in the Bible, early in Genesis. Okay. They said where there's gold, and then it says in verse 12, and the gold of that land is good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, right there, God is telling you that's the first mention of any type of money in the Bible at all is gold. Silver come next. Paper currency is never mentioned. Okay. But land, cattle, houses, gold, silver, jewels, rubies, all of that is mentioned. Diamonds, all of that is mentioned. Okay. But gold is the first. All right. And I think that God said that for a reason. And just because some people would say, oh, money's not good, God said, easy there, Tiger. He said, the gold of the land is good. Golds come from the land. Okay. And then in the book of Haggai, Old Testament, God says that the gold is mine, says the Lord of hosts. So I'm not going to tell God his money ain't no good with me. God, feel free to give me as much gold and increase as you want. Because he says in Genesis 13, verse 2, it says, and Abram was very rich. Okay. Now, some people might try to argue and say he was rich in spirit, and we know that he was. He was a friend of God. Abraham was. And this is before God changed his name to Abraham. But the verse goes on to say, and Abram was very rich in what? In cattle and in silver and in gold. So it specifically points out that a man who was called the friend of God in the Bible was very rich. Now, was Abram a perfect man? Absolutely not. He didn't believe God's promise about him and his wife Sarai. He had a baby with the maid servant. She had 12 kids. Them kids went on to become the Muslims. The other kids went on to become, Jews and Christians. They've been fighting ever since. He wasn't no perfect dude. None of us are perfect. And God still, okay, blessed him extensionally. Okay, you got to understand Adam and Eve no different. The gold was in the Garden of Eden. Okay, it was in the Garden of Eden in the ground before Adam and Eve were ever there. Just understand this conceptually. Will, why is gold the first mention of money in a unit of exchange in the Bible? Why is this mentioned in the Bible? Okay, when Adam and Eve were married, food was free, fruit was free, water was free. They didn't need clothes. Okay, the temperature was a perfect 70 degrees year round, from what we understand. Okay. There wasn't even anything to buy in the Garden of Eden. And even if there were, there was nobody to sell it to. It was just a married couple. Okay. Why was there gold there? Why? Because God wanted to show provision and providence. The money was put there before they ever got there because he knew them and their descendants would need it one day. He knew they would fall. He knew they would get kicked out the Garden of Eden. He knew you wasn't going to be perfect. He knew what I wasn't going to be perfect, but he still put provision there for us. And if you understand what the Bible says, you're going to eliminate a lot of guilt from your life. Okay. And Matthew is chapter 9, verse 29. You're going to eliminate a lot of guilt from your life, and you're going to start to feel a little bit more of that deservedness. okay, that God's children are supposed to have, okay, if that makes sense to you. But we not done. We not done. It goes on to say in Deuteronomy, because once we start getting money, it's human nature for us to get prideful and forget where it come from. And that's the problem. I've experienced it personally, and God took everything. Luckily for me, okay, he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. He changeth not. He has no reason to change, because if God had to change, that would mean that he wasn't perfect in the first place, which is impossible. So he's the same. I had to get my mind right. And the verse in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 13 says, and you shall remember the Lord your God. Because we'll forget. When we get excited and everything's going great, we forget. All right. But he says, and you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore to your fathers, as it is this day. How many of y'all be praying for y'all kids and want them to have a great life? You see? That still happens to this very day. And in fact, Proverbs chapter 10, verse 22 says, the blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it. So if you have money and wealth of any type at all, but it come with some headaches, that's not from God. You don't even need that. Or well, I can't quit my job because my job is stressing me out, but it's a blessing that I got it. And yeah, but they doing you dirty at the job. They stressing you out. You sad. You probably gonna have a heart attack every other Monday morning. Okay, because you might not know what God said about you being wealthy. It says, the blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow to it. Oh, well, here you go again. That's Old Testament. Give us something new, else I won't believe it. Well, that sounds good to me. Okay, in third John chapter 2, he says, beloved, okay, I pray that you may prosper in all things, underline that, and be in health just as your soul prospers. So it really leans to the soul prospering first. You got to make sure that your spirit is good, that you're trying your best to be a good person and be in health, physical health, but then that you're prospering in all things. Well, outside of your spiritual health and your physical health, all things, that's relationships, that's money. That it says all things. Okay. And all things is a whole lot uh, of stuff right there. Okay. It's stuff right there. All right. So just be clear about that. Now, once we figure out what we want, and once we figure out what God said you're supposed to have, all right, once you figure out what Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22 says, a good man or a good woman, a good person, period, really, a good person leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. Do you notice that every time gold is mentioned in the Bible, it is typically in conjunction with God's people? Even when a bad person got it, it tells you right here, they're just holding it until the person gets to the level of deservedness, like the prodigal son, when he gets his head up out the pig slop and understands what his inheritance is supposed to be in God, and he gets the ring and the gold and the cloak and everything else. People that you see wealthy that are quote unquote evil people, it says right there, the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. It's yours. Okay, you just have to get to the level where you deserve it. The reason why they make the money they make, a lot of times bad people don't have no deservingness issues. They have no deservingness issues at all. But we, as self-proclaimed Christians, we gotta really we gotta work through it. Okay. And the last verse I'll give you, last one I'll give you, it says right here. This is from chapter 14 of Luke. It says, "For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish?" And that's where we're going to finish it at right there. Because if you want to be a top earner in network marketing, in addition to the six things, the six traits that you can cultivate within yourself that we talked about, in addition to understanding the 10 roadblocks of network marketing companies that HBN does not have to deal with, we took all of that away from you. You have to shift your belief. You got to understand that, Adam was sinning and cutting up, but God still left gold for them. Abraham was cutting up all over the place. God still left gold and silver and cattle and land for them. You got to understand that regardless what your past is, you got to understand that God deals with that through Christ. He deals with that, and that you're supposed to have a certain level of opulence in your life. All right. You're supposed to have a certain level of opulence. And let me give you this last piece as we close this call. Almost right on time. And somebody asked in the chat, Will, how much does the average, or the text me, how much does the average person make at HBN? I don't know. I don't sponsor average people. This is not a company that attracts average people. We attract above average people all day long. So we can talk about above average people as we close this call. And I was looking at one of the companies in the industry, and I'm not going to say this particular name of the company. The name is irrelevant, but it's a 37-year-old health and wellness company, and they have a couple hundred products. And less than 1% of the people there make $500,000 a year. That's about $40,000 a month, and that's awesome. I think that's great. I mean, if it's 1 out of 100, I always feel like I'm gonna be that 1 out of 100. That's just me. And again, I'm not talking about people that make 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month. I'm talking a minimum $40,000 a month, and that's what a qualified diamond here at HBN makes. Okay, which I'm a qualified diamond. Now, when I looked at those stats from that company, the average person making $500,000 a year sponsored 200 people, okay, and 160 of those were customers, and only 40 of those were reps. So they averaged about 40 reps and about 160 people who were customers, and that might be reps who quit and became customers. All right. They sponsored about 200 people. This is the thing that this company flipped me out about the people who make $500,000 a year. The average time frame, not the fastest and not the slowest, but the average time frame at this particular company, very popular company. If I said them, you'll know them. But the average time frame to make $500,000 a year at this company was 24 years. I didn't say 24 months. I said 24 years. Now I'm gonna tell you, that's still not a bad deal. The average person starts work at 25 years old. By the time they 50, if they just did that company, by the time they're 50 years old, they'll be making $500,000 a year, and they'll be retired 15 years earlier than anybody at their job. That's not a bad deal, believe it or not. 24 years. That's not bad. Okay. But let me tell you the stats here at HBN. Now, HBN's not 37 years old. HBN's debt free. Okay. We're only 6 years old. And HBN did $1 million in coffee sales faster than Starbucks did. True story, by the way. Okay. That's how popular our coffee was when it came out. Now, it's a 6-year-old company, and we have over 100 products. We're 31 years younger than this company. And here, again, same numbers, less than 1% of people are going to make $500,000 a year. But we've had a couple of people who are at that level now on a monthly basis, around that $40,000. We got a couple of diamonds now, two of which are actually going to be at the event in Las Vegas. So that's going to be exciting. And one of them's on the phone right now. So that's kind of cool. All right. That would be me. All right. Now, when I looked at the numbers, okay, the average person HBN that makes that $40,000 a month, okay, when they're qualified as diamond, they sponsored 200 people on average, just like the other company. They sponsored 200 people too, okay, which is really, really cool. And then I looked at the average amount of time it took for them to become a diamond. Now, you know, it's not more than 6 years because the company is only 6 years old. Okay, it's not even 5 years. It's not even 4 years. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an average of about 3 years. Okay, not 24 years, an average of 3 years. So the reason I brought up that verse about Luke telling you to count the cost before you ever even sit down to say, okay, I'm not going to be average. I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to go to the top HBN. I want to make at least $30,000 a month on a bad month, but I want 40 and 50. Eventually, I want to be at $100,000 a month. That's what I want. Okay. If you are not committed to be here every single day, putting in work for 3 years, it's almost 3 years, you're not going to make it. We don't tell people that they're going to quit. Well, let them quit. I'm here to tell people the truth. And I believe God is going to bless me for that. Okay. It's what it takes. If you're not going to be, I've been here for 3.5 years. Okay. I'm one of the diamonds it took almost 3 years. I'm one of the people pushing the average toward the 3 year mark. Okay. But just understand, if you're not, you got to count the cost. I got to get a VP pack. That's like $200 one time. I got to get that. I got to be on 100 CV auto ship. Even if I join for free, I got to hurry up and make the money and reinvest it to activate the whole comp plan. I got to be on 100 some bucks a month auto ship on the first of the month for products that I'm going to use and sample out. I got to do that every month for at least 3 years. Otherwise, I don't even stand a chance of making that type of money. I'll never be a 500K. I'll never be a 250K. I'll never make it. So I'm telling you what it really takes, and you got to count the cost of how much it takes. So what we'll do, we'll talk about a plan to actually get there on a millionaire call tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Do not be late. If you try to get in, it can't. It's just you wasn't on early enough and the Zoom is full. And if you haven't seen the previous Zooms for the millionaire call, be on it. You can stop the recording, Mel. Be on there because you need that information. Otherwise, the plan I lay out for you to do the type of volume that it takes to make the